it's Ellie and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello, hi, I'm Ellie, and on this channel we cover all things crime and horror. If you like stuff like that, feel free to stick around, watch some other videos and subscribe. And today I'm back with another unsolved crime case. So just like so many other people and couples in life, they work hard for it to pay off in the long run, where they can get old and enjoy retirement and just enjoy their older years. This is exactly what Russell and Shirley Dermond had planned. But it was sunshine, relaxation and fun for so many years, until a crime that would actually shock the nation, as someone decided to murder this elderly couple. Not just murder, they brutally murdered this couple, and it also involved a gruesome beheading. The question still remains of who the killer was, or who the killers are, and who took it upon themselves to end this happy, what seemed ordinary couple's life. Before we get into this, a major disclaimer for this case, as it could be triggering for some people. Also a huge reminder that in no way do I mean any offence to anyone I mention or talk about. Any theories or opinions I put across in this video are ones I have built off my own research. They are not any straight fact. I also do want to let you know that I do my own research, so if for some reason I get a name, a place, a time wrong, please feel free to correct me in the comments and I will change it in the description, because as always I'm trying to get an as accurate case across as I can. Also, it's snowing in England, so my room that's outside is very cold, so you will be hearing the heater in the background. I'm sorry if it is annoying. So when it came to Shirley and Russell, so many good things were said about them. They were married young on December the 15th, 1950. Their future was bright and they were madly in love with each other. Russell was originally from Hackensack, New Jersey. He served in the United States Navy during World War II. The couple went on to have 4 children, 3 sons and a daughter, who eventually gave them 9 grandchildren. There was only one major tragedy that the family had faced before this brutal killing, and this was the murder of one of their sons, Mark, who died in a shootout over a flaky drug deal in Atlanta that went wrong. Russell was a successful businessman. He owned multiple food restaurants before his retirement. Shirley graduated from Barnard College and was a stay-at-home mum looking after their 4 children. The family as a whole, they were a religious one. They came across as nothing but an original American household. They were regular churchgoers. They enjoyed playing golf, reading, going to the movies, being social, having lunch with friends. Nothing alarmed anyone that there could have been hidden secrets or that someone out there had the intent and was out to kill the couple. When Russell retired in 1994, Russell and Shirley moved to the Great Water Reynolds Lake Oconee gated community. This was in Georgia. The couple built a $1 million mansion that overlooked the lake. Their house was on a cul-de-sac, so they had total privacy with an absolutely breathtaking view of the water. Life was good. The only downside to them living so far out alone in a huge house was that they were both at a vulnerable age. Russell was 88 and Shirley was 87. So if something bad was brought to the house, they were not in the right state to be able to fully defend themselves well. Now, on a timeline of their last encounters with people, on May 1st, Russell was seen running errands at a grocery store and then a bank. This was alongside Shirley. Russell spoke to their son Brad on the phone later that day. May the 2nd, 2014, Russell was seen walking the golf course near his house. A few days before, Shirley had gone and played her weekly bridge game. On May the 3rd, the couple had accepted an invitation from their neighbour to attend a Kentucky Derby in the wooded subdivision where they lived, but to everyone's surprise, the couple did not turn up to this event. This was what seemed very out of character for the couple, and on May the 6th, after calling for a couple of days and getting no answer, the friends that hosted the derby came to their home to find out where they had been and why there was no contact. While checking the house, they found that the back door was unlocked. The friends then called out to them and went into every room. Nothing seemed out of place. However, it wasn't until the friends made it to the garage that it was a complete different matter. Behind the couple's Lexus SUV, and their Lincoln Town car was the gruesome sight of Russell's decapitated body. His head was missing and towels had been placed around his dead body and the door to keep the blood from draining under the garage door and onto the driveway. Shirley was still nowhere to be found. Autopsy would later show that gunpowder residue was actually found on the back of Russell's shirt, suggesting that he had been killed from gunshot execution style. As we also know, there was no blood splatter in the house, so Russell would have been taken elsewhere to be killed. The sheriff said it was a very clean cut just above the collar line. Whoever done this knew what they were doing and it was not done in a frenzy. The discovery of Russell's body was obviously reported straight away to the police, but Shirley was still missing and the FBI were immediately called for action. A reward was offered for anyone that had any details on the murder and missing Shirley. Over the following week they brought in cadaver dogs, and they also had divers going all through the lake behind the couple's property, but still no trace of Shirley was found. Obviously everyone is stressed and panicking, trying, not only has, you know, Russell been murdered, but trying still to find the missing Shirley. So for the next 10 days, the assigned officer of this case, who was Sheriff Sills, held a press conference as well as questioned the couple's 3 children and their neighbours. He obviously had to theorise and think about many things, like did Shirley have something to do with this in order to kind of get her husband off the scene? Had she also just been kidnapped? Had she just gone on the run? Her purse and phone and her car keys were still at their property, but given her age and the fact that they've had a very long-term loving marriage, her participation was not a big factor, people believed. One of the couple's sons, Keith, told a reporter on May the 14th, "With each hour that goes by, my brother, my sister and me become more and more resigned to the fact that we may never see her again and may never know what will happen. If she is still alive, we can't imagine what she's going through. Human spirit is incredibly strong, but it almost got to a stage where we were hoping that she was with our father just to ease her suffering." Now on May the 16th, 2 fishermen were out fishing 6 miles from the couple's home when they came across a body floating face down. Her ankles were bound with 2 30-pound cinder blocks. Sheriff Sills was immediately contacted and had arrived to the scene by boat and actually personally pulled the body from the water, and sadly it was indeed 87-year-old Shirley. The decomposition and internal gases from her swollen 5'2" body ended up making it twice its normal weight. Her body also showed that she had been beaten to death. Sheriff Sills told a reporter there were multiple blows to her head by some sort of blunt object, possibly a hammer. Shirley's body was fully clothed, there was no signs of sexual assault. The sheriff had actually interviewed hundreds of people. He estimates that on a single day, according with several law enforcement agencies, that 250 people were questioned. He said the couple's bank records had been reviewed, their safety deposit box was opened, their wills were scrutinised, their phone records were also examined, as well as the cell phone tower records in this area. Their 3 children were also all given polygraph tests and passed. One twisted factor is that still to this day, Russell's head has it's never been recovered. There were no unusual fingerprints or DNA evidence discovered in their home. No one saw the killer or killers. Theories ran dry on who would have had a reason to kill these 2 innocent 80-year-olds. There are many things that just don't make sense in this case, and as of 2021 it does still remain unsolved. In my opinion, you know, I'm pretty stumped on what it could be, but I was checking out if anyone had a comment on this on Reddit, and some of the questions and theories about this case were obviously, you know, where the hell is Russell's head? Some think that the head was taken not as a trophy but because it contained evidence, perhaps a bullet that could match up to a registered gun, and then, you know, you work your way back from that and find out who may have had the gun in the area. Or, you know, it could have had any form of DNA of any of the killer or killers. Another person said that I believe that this crime was targeted to Shirley. as it was a highly emotional killing. The motive was not money. They think Russell was killed so there would be no one to protect Shirley, so she would be very vulnerable on her own. His head was taken to remove evidence from the scene, as well as Shirley's body was beaten to death and her body was hidden, as well as nothing from the house seemed out of place or stolen, so money probably was not a major motive. I don't know, I think it's really sad that Russell's head has been recovered, because although, you know, you may have both of their bodies, or in any case when there are missing parts, like missing limbs or parts of the body that are missing, you can never fully, you know, process and grieve because you can't fully lay your loved one to rest. But that was a short one. There's still ongoing investigation theories with it, but yeah, that pretty much wraps up this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. I've got a few of these quick cases to go through, and then I've got some others that are like in depth, and I've got one coming up actually that I think I'm after doing a part 1 and part 2. So if you want to stick around for that, be sure to subscribe. Comment below any other cases you would like me to look into. I am more than happy to read your suggestions and look at them. Once again, no offense to anyone that I mentioned in this case. My intent is to never offend anyone, but thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, peace.